You are listening to On the Fly.
What's up, guys? On the Fly. Look at him dancing to the music up there. On the Fly is back again. It's that Thursday night, 8 o'clock. And you know what that means. Usually it means I've got a special guest in here. And tonight, making his, get this, Andy Vander, third appearance on the show. Third appearance on the show.
Sorry,
Sorry.
Annie.
Sorry. Yeah, you got to say sorry because you'll be in the doghouse. But anyway, making his third appearance on the show and his first appearance talking about his country music superstar career that's going on right now. Mr. Brian Meulen. How you doing, Brian?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, Stevie. Yeah, I'm really excited to be here and third time. And yeah, we didn't get to talk about music the last couple, so
Well,
this is
we
new,
talked about
right?
music. We talked about music. We just didn't talk about yours because the last time you
Just
were
not
on, we
my
talked.
music.
Yeah, last time you were on with me, you, and Jim, we talked about 3 hours about music. So
Yeah,
uh,
we talked about a lot of stuff.
yeah, we were on for a while with this. Um, Tonight though, it's all about Brian Meulen. It's about his newest single, not his debut single, like I put, guys. That was my fault. That was a mix-up. This is not his debut single. This is his second single. His first single was "Heaven in the Country." You guys need to check that one out. We didn't have him on for that one, but we managed to get him on for "She Left Me with the Whiskey." That just came out
Yeah.
last week.
Yeah, Friday. Yes.
Yeah, last Friday. So you guys know what when music used to come out on Tuesdays. Now new music comes out. All new music comes out on Friday. So, uh, but check it out, and we're going to talk to him about a little bit more about that. If you're a fan of like the old fashioned country music sound, like Merle Haggard stuff, this is right up your alley. But before we get to that, we're going to talk a little music news, just a little bit of stuff up here. Um, guys know I've talked about it on the podcast before. I'm a big Heart fan, have been for a long time, and they finally, after a little tiff they had over the last couple of years where they weren't together, they didn't want to be together. They finally made up and are out on tour, but now they have canceled the upcoming European leg of their Royal Flush Tour for singer Ann Wilson to recover from a time-sensitive but routine medical procedure. It says the band was slated to visit Europe from June 20th through July 12th, performing a handful of festivals and headlining shows. They announced a cancellation in a statement on social media. This is the statement here. We regret to inform you that all upcoming Heart performances in Europe are canceled. In late May, Ann Wilson will undergo a time sensitive but routine medical procedure for which the minimum recovery time is 6 weeks. Hart deeply regrets this unfortunate circumstance and hopes to return to Europe soon. Refunds will be available at point of purchase as applicable. I don't know. This sounds kind of, I don't know. I don't know if it sounds like they're going out of their way to make routine but time sensitive, and it takes 6 weeks. I don't know what could be going on with her. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's
I
female
don't I
things or
yeah, I haven't
what.
heard anything. I mean, could be anything,
Yeah,
appendix, tonsils, something, something that's routine. That'll take six, maybe a hernia. I don't know.
if she got her tonsils out, good lord, she's in her she's got to be close in her 60s now.
Yeah, you
So
never know. I mean, maybe gallbladder. I mean, it could be anything
it could
routine,
be
right?
gallbladder. No,
Um,
that's
you know, yeah, prayers to her
time
though,
sensitive.
because that's
Why
that's
would they
always a
hide what
scary.
it is though? Why would they hide what it is though?
Eh, I don't know.
Time
Not everybody
sensitive.
wants their private life in
Yeah.
public, right? So
But I mean, if it was a gallbladder surgery, I'd be like, yeah, I can get my gallbladder out. I'm sorry, I had to get my gallbladder out. Those things are painful. I've seen my dad went through that. He said that felt just like having a heart attack all over again. So those things are
yeah,
painful. But hopefully, they were. I know they had Cheap Trick out on the road with them for a little while. Uh, they were headlining with support from Cheap Trick, and now they're supposed to open for Def Leppard and Journey in a few places. So that would be
Uh,
cool to. Uh, that's a good lineup there. Def Leppard, Journey, and Heart.
Heck
Speaking
yeah.
speaking of old '80s bands, Bon Jovi. There has been with the. I don't know if you've seen the documentary yet. Uh, there's a lot. There's
Yep.
this brought up with, and I guess the 40th anniversary brings up a lot of talk about long time guitar player Richie Sambora may be coming back to the band, and yeah, John pretty much squashed those rumors, which you never can tell. It's kind of like I think of some of this like Kiss used to say it's never going to happen, it's not going to happen, and it happened. It's kind of like a football team saying, uh, "We've got full confidence in that coach. We're going to have him again." Yeah, that means
Yeah.
you're on your last leg, buddy. You better shape up, or you get ready to get shipped out. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'd like to see them back together again, just one last hurrah. But and even Sebastian Bach, he's trying his best to get back in Skid Row, and they're squashing that left and right. And he just keeps pushing it on, saying, "Oh, it was a misunderstanding. I just found out about it. I'm going to get this straight." And wouldn't it be great if Bon Jovi reunited with Sambora and we went out, Skid Row went on tour with Bon Jovi with me as the lead singer of Skid Row again? I'm like, we keep reaching,
Yeah.
buddy. You're trying. At least you're trying. But that's just a little bit of the music news going on out there right now, guys. We're not going to get into a whole lot of that, but because we want to talk about Brian. But all right. So, like I said, not your debut single. Of
No.
course, head in the country. Talk a little bit about what got you into music.
Um, so I played a little guitar, just kind of dabbled when I was in high school. Um, I basically just knew a couple of Metallica riffs, right? And um, I put it down. It stayed in the closet. When I got married, we sold the guitar and the amp because it was just sitting there, right? So uh, COVID came along, and I just said, "Look, I got some time now. Always wanted to learn guitar." So I did that. I learned guitar, and I was quite happy playing guitar in my room here. But
Yeah.
as you know, we have a rock star Annie Vander in our house, and
Oh yeah.
I just kind of followed some of her lead, and we were always out at her open mics and shows and doing stuff anyway. And I thought I'd use those guitar skills, uh, live.
So
And
you
then
actually
at
started
some
playing.
point,
You actually started playing for Annie, right?
well, I mean, I kind of haven't played for Annie too much, just a couple of little things here and there, open mics, stuff like that. I was a really new guitarist, and Annie's a different level, so she deserved better than me. But but yeah, I mean, at some point we just, she was writing music, and I've always kind of written really well, and I just kind of wanted to try it, so I tried it, and worked out well, and then she kind of hooked me up with her producer, David, who's been amazing at teaching me, everything from songwriting to being a vocalist, which is also very new to me. So yeah, and here we are. I've released 2 songs. I've written, I don't know how many now. I've got a notebook full of stuff, and
Oh yeah.
I'm hoping to get a couple more out this year. And I like I said, Annie's the rock star in the family, so the budget goes to her first. Quite honestly, I
Oh
didn't know if
wow.
I was
Good
gonna get
answer.
a.
Good
I did
answer.
not. Well, I mean, she wants to make a career out of it, right? And for me, it's more about having fun. Not that I would mind a career. It's music. it's fun to do. So, but
I mean, who doesn't want to be a rock star?
right. I mean, seriously, how could I say no to that?
So, okay, you talk about you just picked up a guitar during COVID, and I mean, you knew a little bit, but you weren't really that that great of a guitar player at the time, but you picked it up and got better and better. I mean, that's one thing when you pick up the guitar and start playing that. How the heck did it feel? I mean, how much pushing did it take, and how did it feel for you to get up there the first time and start singing? I mean, this is something you haven't, I don't think you had done before. So, how did that feel the first time you did when people were like, "Oh, you should sing this song," or "You should get up here and sing"?
Yeah, well, I did it a couple times before back in church, long time ago. Nothing big, just the basic choir things. But I mean, I
Yeah,
had done solos, um, and I do a lot of speaking in my job, which kind of helps. So I didn't feel like I got real nervous, although there's always some level of nerves, but I didn't feel like I was. It was like a huge leap for me to be in front of people and
right.
singing or whatever. So plus, I don't care. I just do everything. I just I'll bulldoze through life. That's just me.
But the thing, you talk about, yeah, we do a lot of talking. We talk up here a lot, but I can't imagine. And I did the whole thing in church. I mean, I did that. I mean, I didn't have a bad voice. I don't know how it would be now, but as a kid, I mean, they had me in the church choir and youth church choir, singing solos where I knew how to read. I mean, and you talk about nerves. I mean, gosh, no, it was nerve, and I can't imagine right now getting in front of a crowd and start to sing like that. But it seems like
Yeah.
handle it pretty well.
Well, and I still don't do it very often. Again, Annie is our priority, so I can't imagine what it would be to have two gigging musicians in the house. But I'm not opposed to getting up and on one of her shows and doing a guest appearance. I've done that before, and especially participating in her open mics, because she needs that participation sometimes.
Right.
But yeah, I don't get a lot of like support. I've never gotten a lot of support for doing stuff like that from my family and friends. So it's been really amazing to see the response. I was just showing you in backstage that
Yeah.
I'm week one. I'm not even week one, and I'm about to hit 1,000 streams already, which I'm pretty proud of for
You should
my
be.
second song. And I can tell you, I hated to hear the sound of my voice. Now, my vocal coach said that that's a very normal thing. But I could not stand to hear the sound of my own voice. And I knew I was pitchy and I knew I was bad and I knew I needed a lot of work. But there's one thing about me is I work hard. I work hard at
Yeah.
everything. And, I tend to get things done. So
Yeah.
I kind of use that pit bull type, attitude and just kind of attacked it. And, especially during COVID, I had a lot of time. So,
Yeah.
I the
Everybody
times I
did.
played guitar, like 3 hours a day.
Yeah. But you talk about pushing through it and everything. And talk about, well, Annie's this but what about when's the time gonna come when there's just a Brian show? I mean, you talk about all these songs. You say you got a couple more you want to get out for the year's over with. It may be time
Yeah.
for a Brian show.
Well, I'm still working at it. It's not being put aside, and I have a little bit of time to do it here and there. So I'm going to do that. But my life is really a lot different than Annie's is. I have a pretty demanding day job, and I
Right.
work a lot of nights and weekends and stuff like that. So you know, sometimes commitment, on the weekends isn't too solid for me. But I, I still love it, so I'm going to do the best I can. And maybe my path is just a little different.
Oh
I can
yeah.
keep putting stuff out on social media and Spotify and just work it that way, right?
That seems to be the way a lot of these musicians are doing it now. It's no longer about releasing a new album. It's releasing a single here, a single there. It's probably uh, as far as economically beneficial that way. It's what it seems to be right now. Talk a little bit about your influences. Who are your influences when you're sitting down and writing a song? Okay, like this song I said, and me and you talked before we came on. This song is, and I said like an old fashioned country song, you're talking about a woman, you're talking about alcohol. You mentioned a Bible a couple of times, so yeah,
I
this is an
did
old fashioned country song right here. But talk about a little bit of
for
your
sure.
influence when you do your music now, when you write a song.
So yeah, I mean, I kind of fell into this country genre. A lot of my influences, I mean, you're gonna know them because
Over your shoulder.
besides being the podcaster, we're friends. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, right there is one of them.
yeah.
Metallica. I was a rocker. I always listen to rock. Country is pretty new for me. And again, Annie is out there doing her thing and in country music, and I started enjoying it. Um, and we kind of did that last song, "Having in the Country," and I got a lot of feedback from fans and how much they enjoyed that classic country feel.
Oh
That
yeah.
B3, that organ, or yeah, I think it's a B3 or B something, B7 organ in that track, and I kind of listened and I heard that, and I'm like, man, maybe I could bring back some old country. So my producer had me listening to some Merle Haggard and some Waylon Jennings. And don't get me wrong, Dukes of Hazzard, come on, who doesn't love Dukes of
Yeah.
Hazzard?
Oh
All
yeah.
right,
It's a good
but
old
Waylon
boy.
Jennings, man.
For a
So
long
yeah, I
time.
guess,
For a long time, that was the
but
only way the songs I knew was the
right,
Dukes of Hazzard. Yeah, then I
but
yeah, I started listening to a lot of Waylon Jennings.
but that was like a staple in my household. Like without even knowing it, I'm listening to Waylon Jennings. Because my dad had to turn on Dukes of Hazzard every time it was on. I
Yeah.
don't even remember what night it was on. Maybe Friday night
Friday
sometimes.
night, buddy. Friday night. I will never
But
forget
was
Friday
it?
night.
That was Friday night pizza night and Dukes of Hazzard. That was
That's right.
our household thing. But yeah, I enjoyed it. My dad was a country music fan. He still loves the Eagles. So I heard a lot of that stuff growing up without even kind of even knowing it. But yeah, at the same time, I do like a lot of the modern artists, how they mix and mesh that rock and heavy metal type, like Hardy and even some of the Maureen Wallen stuff. Maybe
Yeah.
he mixes a little bit R&B and dance, but I kind of like all that mashup stuff. There's a band, actually, it's a guy, and I want to say, I don't know who he was. You might know Blue Saraceno.
Oh
Do you know
yeah,
who he is?
he took Blue Saraceno. If it's the same guy I'm thinking about, he
Guns
played with
N'
Poison
Roses
for a
or
while.
something.
He played with
Poison.
Poison.
That's it.
Yeah, because he
Yes.
was okay. You had CC was first, and then Richie
Right.
Kotzen took over, and we all know how that ended. And I think after Richie Kotzen, if I'm not mistaken, Blue Saraceno took over because there was a oh gosh, what was the name of that album? Crack a Smile or something like. I may be wrong on that name album, but he's on it. He's on one of the Poison albums, and I'll find it. But what about blues?
Oh, he's got some just really dark country type stuff out that I really like, and yeah, it just badass. So
Yeah,
that was
he
actually
was
kind of
on
an
Crack
influence
a
for me.
Smile and More. That was the album he was
Is
on.
that what it was? Yeah.
Yep. So, and it wasn't a bad album. I mean, which it was around the time, but it was just at the wrong time. That kind of music was not. Poison was not the kind of music people were listening to, and then it was just not. But yeah, I didn't even know he was doing country music. I forgot. I'm gonna have to look him up now. I'm glad you said something about that.
Yeah.
But so let's see. We talked about the you. All right. I don't think we really got this across yet. You talked about picking up the guitar. You talked about writing songs.
hmm
What was? How did the decision come along to? Okay, how did you? I mean, was it between you and Annie talking? I'm sure it was some about deciding to start record. You start recording music.
Um, I think I want to say in some respects, maybe Andy felt bad that I wasn't participating in what was going on. And I think she suggested it. She said, "Why don't you record something?" And I'm like, "Really? Should I do that?" And yeah, I mean, we're married. We wanna have fun together and do stuff
Right.
together. So,
Oh yeah.
she suggested it, and I'm like, "Sure. You know what? I think that'll be fun." So, you know, if I have to list an influence, she's got to be top, right?
Good answer. Good answer. Last time we were on, and we were talking about
This
talking
get me in
about
trouble.
certain albums and like that. You didn't mention Andy Vander album. I think it kind of got you in the doghouse a little bit. But anyway, okay. So next thing I want to know about. All right, writing the song. How did she left me with the whiskey? What got in your head and said, okay, this is what I'm gonna write this on? She left me with the whiskey. How did that idea come
Yeah.
about?
Well, it kind of progressed. So I kind of went down to Nashville, and this was, again, I didn't know if I was going to do a song this year at all, just because of the budget and everything going on with Annie. But she really wanted me to, and I wanted, after getting that fan feedback about bringing back old country. That was kind of in the back of my mind. And we went into the writing room. Well, I went into the writing room with David, our producer, and I kind of just I said that I want to come up with something like classic. Maybe it's that old whiskey theme. I know it's overdone, but you got to do it different type of thing. And we thought that this was a different way of doing it. But then when we kind of sat down and wrote it, both of us, like I stopped drinking about a year ago for some health reasons. And, maybe I didn't have quite the story that the character in the
Yeah.
song has, but but I could relate, and I don't know, maybe David had more of that, and when we sat down and wrote, these things just started coming out, and we felt it was relatable, and we felt it was a good topic, and really that old country classic theme, and really kind of hit home. So I'm really happy the way it turned out. I I can't say enough about how good of a writer David Norris is, and how much he brought out of me, and how much he helped me with this song and having in the country, as well. Annie was a co-write on that song as well, and along with everything else, from vocal coaching to even little guitar classes when we're down there, and stuff like that. So.
What was it like getting the vocal coaching the first time?
Well, I kind of call just being in the studio with David, being coached. So I do have a coach out in Nashville, and we do some work. Before having in the country, I did a real crash course in vocals. But David is just, I mean, he'll stop and take whatever time he needs to coach me into, those country twills, and, those little runs, and the fades, and all those little vocal tricks. And, he'll just sit there and wait till I get him, and he's so patient.
Yeah, you got to have a lot of patience with stuff like that. But this
Yeah, but I
character,
mean, when I go to
no, go ahead, go
perform,
ahead.
then when I go to perform, then I've got that stuff down. I take that away with me. It's priceless. So
Yep, definitely. But the character, you talked about the character in this song. He's definitely got a problem. I mean, when the woman said, I'm leaving it, she hid the beer from him, but she's leaving him the whiskey, and she leaves him a note saying, if you drink this, then you don't need me around. You don't need to be around me anymore. Sounds like he's got a huge problem there. And this sound, I mean, like I said, this sounds like an old country song. I can't stress
it
that
does.
more, guys. You really need to check this out if you're a fan of old country. But
Yeah, and I feel like that could go one of two ways, right? You could you could say, okay, she left me, but I'm okay. At least I'm content with the whiskey, and you could have
yeah,
that kind of attitude, or you could actually look at it as a completely tragic thing where the alcoholism consumes you so much that you don't care that your girl left you. You're just happy that you're there with what's left of the whiskey.
it's all in your point of view. It's all in your point of view, guys. But you know, me myself, if I guess it depends on how the relationship was going, but if I'm choosing whiskey over like somebody I'm in a relationship with, I got a problem. I got a big time problem there. But that's
Well,
country music, guys.
I'll tell you, Stevie. Somebody made a comment on a post. Uh, I think it was today or yesterday, when some of my friends rallied around, streaming the song. Uh, and they said, "Man, I'm really," and they didn't know me other than just online, right? I'm
Right.
really sorry that happened to you. And I'm like, "No, man, I've been married 25 years. I'm happily married. That didn't happen to me. I'm just kind of writing about a character here."
Just because people write songs about stuff doesn't mean that's happened to them. I mean, that would, gosh, no. There. I mean, which there
Not that
is
I
some people.
haven't done some stupid stuff and probably deserve to be left,
Yeah,
but
we've all done that. But all right. So where can they find? She left me with the whiskey. Where? I mean, tell us where anybody
yeah,
can find.
you can find it. Look up Brian Meulen on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, Deezer, Tidal, anywhere you stream music. Pandora, Brian Meulen. It's the last name is Meulen. I think it's written down there, right?
Yep.
But yeah, you just
Scroll across the
look
screen and
me
it's
up
right
on
under you too.
any of those streaming services.
Look, how hard you're an independent. So how hard is it to get that song out there for people to hear?
Um, I don't think it's that hard to put the music out. Annie helps me a lot with the back end of that because she has that account for the distributor. Um, it's the recording, the time, the creativity and writing and all that stuff. There's a lot that goes into it before you go into that studio, and then it's a lot of work in the studio. And then for us, we live in Chicago. We're traveling down to Nashville.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of time and effort to get that stuff done. Putting it out is literally clicking that button.
Not like it used to be in the old days, guys. In the old days,
Well,
you've got
yeah,
more
there's still stuff to
platforms to do
do.
it now.
The marketing is it gets a lot. Social media, it can be exhausting. I can tell you the last few days, you and I probably talk a lot more than we probably did in the last 2 days normally, 2 or 3 days. But I just couldn't keep up with all the support from fans in the last few days. So it's been great.
Yeah, and guys, we'll be pushing the single up here. So if you can't find it, then you look on the Fly page, and you'll be able to find. Even though Facebook is acting cuckoo, because me and Brian have been going back and forth all afternoon about Facebook. Where is it at? Where is the link at? I swear it's right here,
Yeah,
but
I still think
even
it's
I
me.
couldn't find it. Even I couldn't find it. So you talked
Yeah,
about
I've been.
hopefully having 2 more songs coming out. What you got? What you got cooked up? You think you're going to be able to get those 2 songs out before the year's over with?
I hope so. I have been working vigorously trying to learn the production and recording process on my own. In the meantime, I've been trying to find some more economic ways to put music out, but it has to be quality. I don't want to put out something just to put it out. And I did find some guys out here locally that may be able to help, and I'm exploring that option. So we'll see how that works. But I do have a couple of songs in the works. One about my grandfather, um, and the other one is another kind of fictional type song.
Make sure you put it out there. It's fictional, guys. It's not. It didn't happen to him. 'Cause it could be something really bad, and y'all be like, "Oh God, what
Well,
kind of person?"
it might have happened to me, but it's happened to everybody. So
Okay, I got you there. So we've had you on 3 times now, and we did the 2-minute drill with you already. But
we did, yeah.
there's a question I'm going to add to the 2-minute drill that I'm robbing from another podcast that I'm friends with, and it's a good
Oh no,
question.
on the spot.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm putting you on the spot here. It's a good question. Okay, Pop Tarts. Do you eat Pop Tarts?
no.
Darn. Well, you can't answer that question. And I had a debate. I had a debate about, this guy was asking on his podcast, and I'm friends with the guy. Uh, what what side are you on the Pop Tarts, frosted or unfrosted? And I was
All
like,
right. So if I yeah, I can answer that. If I'm very methodical about things, I might be a little OCD. I'm probably eating the frosting first.
oh, I mean, what I'm saying, Pop Tarts have got the frosted ones, and then they've got the ones without the frosting. So you're going frosted ones.
I'm going
You're a
frosting.
turd. I'm unfrosted, guy. I'm unfrosted. Yeah, y'all think I'm crazy, and they were talking about, and I've never heard this anybody doing this before. They had a guy on, and he's a chef, but he was talking. He said, "Have you ever tried to put butter on your unfrosted Pop Tart?" And I was like,
No.
"I've never thought about it." I mean, but he said you'd be surprised how good it is if you put butter on your Pop Tart. So I'm
Hey,
thinking about trying that.
I'll tell you what. Just even my toast in the morning, sometimes you're a bagel, a little butter, and a little bit of honey. Love it.
Yeah. See, my dogs over here listening to me talk about Pop Tarts, and if I get a Pop Tart out right now, they're like all over me. They could give a crap about me the rest. When I get the Pop Tart out, they want a little bit of the Pop Tart. So
Yeah, that's just the
they're
wrapper.
all, yeah, the wrapper. It's amazing, dude. It's amazing what a cheese wrapper and a Pop Tart wrapper will get. What response you get from a dog? Because they could
Right.
care less about anything. But you bring that up, boy, they're shooting from another room right there on you. Okay, so let's plug it once again. Brian Meulen Music. If you want to find him, you can find him anywhere you find your streaming music. You can find him on Facebook. It's the Brian Meulen Music Group on Facebook, and that's Meulen. You see it right up there. And like I said, Brian has been a really good friend, and I think it's over a year now. We've had our anniversary now, but
We have.
yeah, because the first time we had him on, we did a top 10 favorite Tesla songs because
Right.
Annie was the reason for that. Annie was telling the story about how she got that drumhead signed for him
That's
back
right.
there. Troy, that was Troy LaKelly that signed it for you, right?
Yes, sir. Yep. It was Troy.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah, and we have
Tesla
to thank
still,
Nicole too. We have to thank Nicole
yeah,
for that connection too.
yeah. Tesla's still putting out music. I just heard them on Eddie Trunk the other day, and they were actually talking about, they got a new single coming out soon, and he asked them, "Will you guys ever put out another album?" And they were like, they didn't think so. They didn't think it was economically beneficial to them. So that
No.
seems to be the way it's going, guys. It's the days of albums per se, unless it's these huge artists, might be done. Like unless you're like a Taylor Swift or you're really popular in the mainstream, you may not see albums from a lot of these guys anymore. And
Yeah. No,
I
I feel
can't
like,
blame them. I can't say
yeah.
I blame them.
Yeah, no, I mean you need the numbers on Spotify, and if you're just gonna drop an album, you get all the numbers at once, and then they fade, and you can't afford to put out another album again. So
Look, there was something on YouTube my daughter was looking at the other night, and it was like a chart, a rotating chart of uh, all these singles that came out from like 2014 to 2023, and how many it would have like the top 10, and then they would take over. They were constantly updating as they got more views. Taylor Swift, my gosh, she had like 3 or 4 on that top 10, and they were all competing with each other at the top of the list for the whole time. I was like, "Jeez,
yeah, it's
that is
amazing,
the exception to the rule right there, guys." Well, she's one of the
right?
exceptions to the rule, and I'm
Good for her
almost
too.
finished my album challenge. I'm almost finished listening to her new album. My neighbor down the street, he's a big Taylor Swift fan. He was like, "I can't believe you're actually listening to it." I said, You want me to tell you the truth? I can't either." But it's
I'll tell you what,
okay.
and I don't know if Annie told you this story, but I was running sound at one of her shows. And it was probably a month ago, and she started playing a Taylor Swift song, and the bar wasn't really that crowded, but there was a bunch of bikers playing in the casino, just off the bar, and one of
Oh
them
god.
came out in his leathers and tattoos, and that big biker dude. He knew every word to whatever Taylor Swift song that she was singing, and he belted it, just belted it. And then he dropped her a tip in that tip jar and said thank you. But it was pretty interesting. Not expected.
This kid is he's on my football team, and he lives right a corner from me, and he is a big Taylor Swift fan. When I was talking to somebody about doing it was another person about doing a top 10 Taylor Swift thing. That was because they were such a big Taylor Swift fan. And when I told him that, I said, they're going to do one. I mean, you need to get your list in. I'll read your list off. And I was like, I hope, and I told my daughter, I said, I hope he doesn't think I'm talking about tonight. But he got that top 10 back in like an hour. And I ain't talking about just a list of songs. He had the reason behind it and everything within less than an hour. So yeah,
Serious
he's a
stuff.
big Swiftie fan. Yeah. Oh yeah. All right, Brian. Uh-oh. You got directions? Getting directions?
No, I said serious, and my phone thought it's. I said, what it
That's
thought.
happened a few times. That's happened a few times to us in here too. But before I let you go, I just want to tell you congratulations. I'm sure you'll get 1,000 before the night's over with. If we have to play it 59 times over here, we'll do it for you. But good luck to you, bud. And next single comes out, we got to get you on before the single comes out. So that'll be the fourth time, Annie. The fourth time, Annie. So we're already planning that. So Annie will be Annie's got a new song getting ready to come out, right?
I think it's Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, this Friday. And you guys, we said we're going to make this about Brian, but we'll talk about Annie a little bit. Annie Vander, keep your eye on her. I think it's the what's the dad tree, or what is the name of it?
The Daddy Tree. Yeah, the
Daddy tree. Yeah. Got, and this is a different sound in Annie Vander song. Every song she does now seems to be a little bit different, but this is a different sound in Annie Vander song. You guys look for it to coming out Friday. So Brian, thank you again for coming on the show, bud, and good luck with the she left me with the whiskey. We got some singing in the background.
They must like it. I think Annie just came in the door.
Oh Lord. All right, guys. You guys be sure to check out Brian Meulen. She left me with the whiskey, and we will see you next time on the fly.
Thanks, Stevie.